Welcome to the Amoraea Podcast. Together with experts in intimacy and typology, we explore how to connect deeply with yourself and discover what it takes to truly find the one. Powered by Amoraea, the only matchmaking app that matches you based on your unique typology. To try the app, go to www.amoraea.com.
Where the heartstrings.
Today, our guest is Mayor, a human design expert. Here we talk about why human design matters for dating, the four main types of human design, how genders navigate the world and dating, what it means if you have emotional authority, attraction versus compatibility in the human design, the limits of human design, and some practical dating advice.
Yeah, understand. And when we're talking about dating and relationships, it's very clear that the same as nutrition or lifestyle, there are techniques, there are approaches and methods and diets and exercise systems that work for one person, and then they think that's going to work for everybody. So they make a program and the book and they try and fit everybody into the same box, but we're all so different. And so that's what human design really helped me to understand why a lot of things that worked for other people never worked for me. And especially when we're talking about love, relationships, dating, all of that. I had a really tough time with that growing up, to the point where, I literally thought I'd be the 40-year-old virgin, or just, and human design came into my life when I was 26, and I'd been single. I had a dry spell for 5 years following a breakup of quite a serious relationship. And I'd tried so many things, dating apps, explored all the pickup artist world, and had very limited success with it, really. And most of the normal dating apps, say Tinder and all that, I think they're there to make money, and they're addictive, and they're not necessarily geared to, say, people like me or possibly you who are looking for real connection as well as intimacy.
Yes, can you talk about your journey a little bit? So you tried the picture artist stuff, it didn't work. Like, what about it didn't actually work?
Sure. So I think I mentioned I suffered from depression for most of my adolescent life, just struggling to fit in socially because of where I was living and where I grew up, and nothing to do really except go to the pub. And when I was looking into, okay, so how am I going to find another relationship, there was just going to the pub, trying to chat to random people. I tried all those, getting the confidence to do that. And then, I have to admit, because I didn't really know better, so I was just trying the different pickup kind of lines style thing, or say something funny to a random person that you actually have nothing in common with, or go to the local nightclub or whatever. So it's not really surprising that I didn't have much success. And when I got in contact with human design, it really shocked me in a way, because of how accurate it was in explaining to me, say, where my tendency to depression came from. I've got just a kind of melancholy chemistry, and sometimes it spikes up and sometimes it spikes down, and the thing is to do something creative with it. But I didn't understand that. And in human design, there's 4 types. And it works almost like a kind of social hierarchy. It really does. And so you're a generator, for example, and it's to do with, the type is it's a generalization, but it's a holistic there's a lot of subtypes of every type. It's not just like 4 boxes. It's a lot more subtle than that. But it's to do with how the whole of you functions in the world. As a generator, we call it the aura, but we're not talking about rainbows or colors, just the way that your energy functions in the world is very open and warm and enveloping, and people can come in who come towards you are going to feel like they're enveloped in you, and you can easily interact with a lot of people at the same time. Most people are generators, but the trick is with generators is you've got so much power, so much potential energy when you're doing what you love. For you, the whole day, and sexuality as well, is about how can you use and exhaust all of your energy in a way that feels satisfying and fulfilling and meaningful at the end of the day, so that you can go, that was a good day, or that's a really meaningful connection or conversation, or I used my energy. It feels good to move your energy. And for a generator, you've got something magnetic about you that if you allow it, naturally, I mean, depending on as long as you're in a good place with yourself and are connected to what your energy responds to, rather than what your mind thinks you should do, then life just comes towards you. Life comes towards you. People come towards you. And it's a case of going, is my energy available for that person or not? So it's quite clear. But for me, and say the classic thing in dating or pickup of having a wingman or a wingwoman is perfect for generators, because you've got someone next to you that goes, hey, do you like the look of that person? Do you want to go chat to them? And you feel it in your body. You go, no. Or you go, yeah, okay. And then you're connected with your energy. And
Would a generator be able to see a woman he likes by himself, or is that harder for them?
It's by yourself. It's very tricky to differentiate between your mind, between what you think you want, conditioned patterns. You've got an idea of the kind of person that you like or you want to be with, or your type, your romantic type. And that's not necessarily true. We all end up being surprised sometimes and being together. Sometimes the opposite of who you think you want to be with can be the best person for you. So when you're by yourself, you're going to go for the conditioned patterns of what you think you want. So it's very difficult to differentiate. It's still possible, obviously, or if someone's coming towards you, or they look at you, or they smile, or you say hi, and then you can feel if you respond to that or not. But yeah, that's the difficult thing when you're by yourself as a generator.
It sounds like a generator needs someone outside of them to direct all their energy to a thing.
It's not necessarily needs, but it's very helpful. It's really helpful. Yeah, a lot more effective, because then you can really feel in your body if your whole system is responding or not to that idea or person or proposition. And I know that your matchmaking app, you said, is very much geared to trying to include our patterns in relating and our traumas. And when there's somebody else, when you can check something with somebody else and see if you really respond to that, you can really help to differentiate between, do I just think I want to go after this person or this job and I'm falling into the same pattern as I have before because of my trauma or my conditioning? Of course, I'm unconsciously going to be attracted to that, and maybe it's not necessarily good for me. So to tell the difference between that and does this really feel right in my body, in a very different place to, yeah. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, and I've seen that brightness in your body has to do with a lot more than just a generator. It's like the channels that are open, their gates, stuff like this that we didn't even discuss.
Yeah, but I'm really talking about a felt sense in your body. Yeah.
And that will be for
It's
every type also, right? A felt stem. So is
absolutely
it more so for generators?
every type. That's what we call your inner authority. We've all got a unique kind of way that things feel right to us and that we know they're right. And when we're in a relationship, that it can be really, really tough, really challenging, but something still feels meaningful about it. Or in a relationship, and maybe it's okay, maybe it's just going along. It would be so easy to stay in it, but it feels wrong and it feels stuck and it doesn't feel meaningful. Or
So is that what a generator would feel with conflict?
to say that's a bit more, that would be a bit more complex on the individual chart to say what feeling stuck. But for all generators, the thing that defines them, which is most people, so it's relevant to talk about that. You've got your energy, your vital force in your belly. Most people feel it as a gut response. That's what we're talking about. If you're an emotionally defined person like you are, then it's also combined with a sense of clarity over time when it comes to making a decision. What that really feels like for every individual, that's for each of us to find out for ourselves through life. But looking at the chart, then we can say more specifically. But I don't want to generalize too much, because
Are there any obvious signs that you are a generator without generating the chart, manifesting generator or whatever?
Say if you're comfortable in groups, that's a good sign, because two of the other types are not so comfortable with group interaction. Projectors are much more at ease one-to-one. And and for a generator, it's between feeling stuck. So if stuckness and frustration are a theme in your life, and the feeling that you've got all this energy that you just want to use and it's got to flow, but you don't know where to put it, that's the classic question for generators. Who am I and what can I do with all this energy that I wake up every morning? And generators are doers. They've got to,
They sound a lot like extroverts. They're more likely to be extroverted.
not necessarily, because say, especially your profile 2-4, that's a hermit profile on
That's
one
the
level.
best one.
So you've got this, there's a tension between wanting to just be natural and not be bothered by anybody else, and the need to be social in order to get, that's where all of your opportunities come from. So not necessarily, you can have all that doing and use that energy in a very private way. The thing about being comfortable in groups, it could be small groups, but maybe that's not such a good differentiator.
As far as the matchmaking, which type is a generator best with?
So that's the thing, and that's something really important that I wanted to talk with you about, because trying to use human design for matchmaking, for dating, has been attempted, but if you try to use it in the way of this type goes with that type and this profile goes with that profile, like you see in some astrology things, Pisces should never date a Libra, whatever. It just doesn't work like that.
Not
It
black.
just doesn't work. It's not about, you can't say one person with this chart. You can see if this person was in a relationship with that person, you can see according to the differences between them what the probable issues might be, or the themes in that relationships, the difficulties, or where they can find things in common. But you just can't say if this person is going to be, say, a right match or a wrong match. We're here to learn from each other and learn from our differences. So you just don't know. You just have no idea. It could work. Any type can work well or horribly with any other type.
So it
And
sounds like it's more of a awareness tool than a compatibility tool.
that's what it is. That's what it is. Yeah.
But aren't some charts, like when you read two person's charts,
Yeah.
what I heard is you're attracted to your opposite chart. Your partner's chart completes your chart. Doesn't there some truth there of compatibility?
Yeah. It's like genetically, if somebody's got a lot of things that you don't, so you complement each other's weaknesses, there's going to be a lot of attraction there, good chemistry. That the people that just because you're really attracted to somebody doesn't mean they're a good person for you, does it?
Yeah, I also
That's
distinguish between
tricky.
attraction and compatibility. Saying if two charts are different, they complete each other, it gives you attraction, compatibility.
Yeah. The attraction is what's different. The compatibility is what's similar. And ideally, you want to have a mix of both, a healthy mix of both, to give a relationship a good balance of excitement and momentum and things that you can explore together. But some people are really happy with a partner that's very similar to them, and a relationship that's not all fireworks all the time. So I feel like I'm probably going to be avoiding any saying yes or no to this chart or this type goes with that one.
Well, it's
Because
infinitely nuanced, I'm sure.
it's just that in real life, human design is a tool. And I think it serves a huge value in dating and matchmaking. Like you say, in terms of awareness, knowing who you are, knowing who the other person is, and how you can approach each other with understanding and respect. But on the other hand, we're not our charts. It's just a tool. So what someone really feels like in real life, that's a mystery to me.
So human design can't really predict compatibility or attraction. What it really predicts is here are like theoretical ways you or
it does predict attraction, and it does show compatibility. What it can't give you is that mysterious thing of, is that person actually right for you or not?
okay, I see. So it's more okay. Human design can say two people are completely incompatible, but for some reason, for some divine reason or whatever, they hook up and they love each other. Just like that.
Yeah, it does like that. And you think, what are you doing together? But some people no, you can say, okay, there's absolutely no resonance between these two charts. This relationship has not got much chance of lasting very long. You can say that.
And you also don't know. Right.
Say again?
I said, and you also don't know if it will last. because humans are
Yeah.
humans.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
There's
I don't
always
think
that.
any tool out there can reliably predict who's gonna get together, like, because
Mhm.
humans are humans, and even attachment system or big five, hardwoods, we name it. Like, it's just a theory. And I think attraction or why we're together is much higher than any system that the 3D mind can make up, including human design.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's yeah, exactly. No, that's good. As long as we see it in that way. I would hate for I know it's being done because people contact me with questions. Hey, this is the chart of somebody I've just dated. Are they good? Are they good for me or not? And I'm always like, how do you feel? What do they make you feel? Does it feel right to you? And it always comes back to that. And then we can see, okay, what difficulties are there? How can you relate with each other? And you did there's when you put two charts together, sometimes you see it colors in all the centers. So there is a really simple formula that we use. If you want, I don't know if I could share screen with some charts, but I don't know if that would make things more complicated. But if two people color in all the centers, we call that, there's 9 centers. So we call that 9-0, nowhere to go. That's a relationship that if you get into it, it can feel either like a wonderful, it takes over your life,
Do you
and
have
your
a
friends
picture
wonder,
of this in your
yeah,
screen share? Yeah, why don't you share it? I think
yeah,
that'll.
you see, and to the point where your friends wonder where you've gone. Oh, hang on, there we go. So let's screen share. Okay, no, share. Okay, great. It's just giving me
They're
share
letting you
marks.
share. Make you the host.
Not yet. I still need permission.
I just made you the host. I know.
Okay. So can you see that? Yeah. Okay, good. So this is to people. It's actually me here and my son, just as an example in my head. So we're each of us has open centers, but when we come together, we've got a lot of connections and everything gets colored in. So we call this one, does it say? No, 9-0, nowhere to go. So
You're not compatible. You can't.
no, you can't say if it's going to be right or wrong, but if you get into a relationship like that, it's going to be it's going to feel very complete, and it can either feel wonderful or like a prison because it can take over your life.
And human
And
design can't tell you which one it'll be. We'll just find out.
exactly. Yeah, because hang on.
But if you're aware of human design and all the stuff, would it
Yeah,
can you make it feel more like freedom than a prison?
yeah,
That's good.
definitely. Yeah. But hey, as long as you're in a sense, you're what we call your inner authority, as long as it feels like it's worth doing that, as long as it feels like it's right to try, and there's some, not everything is worth trying to fix, if you get what I mean.
So it sounds like really the foundation of human design is how does it feel? And human design is really
Yeah.
just a tool to guide how you feel. Not change how you feel, but help you
help
feel
you
feelings more.
really connected with your own sense. Yeah. This is me and my partner. So when we come together, you can see there's this center still open. That's called 8-1, have some fun. So when there's at least one open center in a relationship, that means you've both got some space to breathe in that relationship. It's not always doing everything together in a bubble. Say we give each other the freedom to explore the head center here. It's all about inspiration. So we can have fun talking about, say, sharing what each of us is exploring, is reading or watching or together. It's, yeah. What do we find inspiring together? That's what we can explore. And
That open also.
yeah. So if it's a different center that's open, then they might be exploring, if this center, the spleen, is open, they'd be which is about your physical body. They'll be exploring how to feel good. Go massages or spas, or going to the gym together, or how to feel good in the body.
Is that related to sex too?
Let me just see your one. Oh, hang on. In what way? In how they're gonna,
like someone's sexually attracted to each other? That means someone's completing someone else's spleen, something like this.
So there's the two sides. The left side, the spleen, is about caring. It's about the way we care for each other. And something that we can say is that all relationships need to be healthy for the body, need to feel healthy for each other. But that's not the same as, it's more than just someone makes you feel safe or makes you feel good. It's more than that, because you can have very abusive relationships. People with an open spleen. Let me see. Just find you an example somewhere. Okay. Yeah. So like we said, we look for what we don't have. We're attracted to opposites. So somebody with an open spleen, this physical awareness, always feels vulnerable, doesn't necessarily feel good in their body when they wake up in the morning, even when they're healthy. It's a more sensitive immune system. And when they come into contact with somebody like me or you, who've got a strong immune system, a strong spleen, there's going to be that genetic attraction. And they're going to feel more secure with that person.
Now, when you say in contact, you mean physical contact or just being around us?
Yeah. Oh, being around. Yeah, being around each other. But let's say that person could be very abusive. And why do people stay in abusive relationships for so long when they could just walk away? Not to say it's easy, but it could be really difficult. But still, why do they each time on an unconscious level, on a genetic level, each time the open spleen meets the other, they feel a sense of security. And that can be security in something that's actually very unhealthy for a person. So they're much more, the open spleen is, me and you, we've got this sense in our body of when something's not healthy for us, we'll just cut it out. We just know. And we're not looking for security from the other, from a
How do you know that? It's because our spleen is closed.
Yeah.
But we're less likely to be in a abusive relationship.
Yeah, much less likely. We've got an
open spleens would like us.
Yeah. We've got an inbuilt sense. We've got a strong immune system. The immune system is the part of us that reacts when something's not healthy to us. So either we stop or get out of an unhealthy relationship or an unhealthy job, or our immune system makes us sick. But it's much more difficult to stay in something that's really unhealthy for defined spleen.
It sounds like a open spleen is bad. Still having an open spleen. Why would I want?
So, yeah, well, exactly. We could talk about every center and point out what's bad about it and what's good about it. And you've got a lot colored in your chart. And that's not necessarily any better than someone like this, who's completely open.
Me and her would be a good match. That would color her
Well,
skin.
that's my mum, and
Hook me up, man.
let me see. Yeah.
Don't you want your mom to find love?
Yeah. It's worse because she's dead, man. So she's
Oh yeah,
fantastic.
Daniel Nitsa did tell me.
It's all good. It's all good. But no, that with a chart like this, let's just ignore that. That could be anyone. It could be
That dual side.
a million people. It could be a million people. But yeah, it's very possible that you're probably going to be more attracted to people who've got these head centers colored in. Someone that you're going to find inspiring and interesting and mentally interesting to be around.
Attraction isn't just the spleen, it's all the centers. To be attracted to someone, you want the opposite center of yours. So I don't want the closed at the top there and the rest open. I'll be super for that person.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd be,
So that's
That
something
would
I could
be
use in my app.
super. Right.
Because that's the
Yeah,
problem
but
too, because all the other systems shows compatibility, but not necessarily attraction. But it looks like this shows attraction, which is really cool. It's interesting to me.
Yeah, but it's tricky.
You can't say yes or no.
The thing is, it's like with anything. If you think I really want to be with a blonde, or
Right, we have a type.
on the debate on the most basic level, I really want to be with a tall guy or a short guy or a.
You can put that in a dating app.
For sure. Yeah, no, you're right. But the thing is, I think that's where you could miss out. If you're fixed on what you're looking for, then you miss out on everything else. And maybe obviously, I'm not the kind of person that believes in that there's one person for you, or I don't know, all this twin flame stuff, or blah blah blah, or you're looking for the one. I'm not saying that, but there could be somebody that's really wonderful for you on the matchmaking app who doesn't have those two head centers colored in. And hey, maybe you're not going to find them as mentally stimulating as somebody else, but that's okay, because you can get that mental stimulation from other friends or whatever, but they could be a wonderful match for you. Yeah, I know.
Probably wouldn't
Very
be
tricky.
100%, right? Like black and white.
Yeah.
All your centers are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would still match them, but it doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah. You could have a sort of attraction level or something, and it would be really, really amazing thing to do would be to test these things out in real life, and say to experiment, does what the charts say match up to what you actually feel in real life with that person? And everybody that does human design is going to say yes, it does, but in our experience, but there's not been any scientific studies with 500 people to prove that.
Amoraea would be the first one.
That would be pretty interesting. It must be such a it must be such a. How long have you been working on Amoraea?
It's a recent project. 12
Mhm.
months, not too long.
Yeah, but it must be so challenging to know how to put the right weighting, like you say, for all of these.
Yeah, that's why I'm doing these calls to figure out, okay, what, because there's not just compatibility, there's attraction too. You can be highly compatible with someone, but not attractive because of trauma, upbringing, whatever it is. So that's another layer of confusion. And you should see my weights. Like it looks like a airplane pilot. There's all these numbers I can change and like.
Sure.
So
Yeah. No, I must say, I can think of a few couples that I've known where their charts were very similar. And with that, you always think that's a bit strange because they're just looking for compatibility, which kind of means they're just looking for safety. Because it's when you're with somebody that's different to you that you're going to be challenged, that you're going to have to deal with, say, emotionality instead of avoiding it. If you're an open emotional person like me, or
maybe it's a range, right? Because if you're really introverted and you go with someone really extroverted, then that's just too much. He's gonna keep wanting you to get you out, but you want to stay in. But if the range is small enough, then see, it actually helps because extrovert gets you out the door when you're just alone all the time.
Exactly. Yeah. So there are some Facebook groups, human design Facebook groups, where people are asking, are there any other single projectors with my profile and that are not emotional? Not emotional.
No
I
emotion.
don't want that. I don't want to have to deal with that because they're whatever traumatized from a previous relationship or something. And that doesn't work. That's not gonna lead you to any kind of personal
You're
growth.
avoiding that part of you.
Exactly.
Enriching your shadow.
Exactly.
But that's actually cool because you could theoretically pick the partner you want, which is what they're doing. There's maybe not as you are probably rejecting parts of you. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, but the question is, does it really work in real life?
Because what we want may not be what we actually need. No, this seems cool, but it's actually a disaster.
Yeah. As far as I can tell, and I've tried to do that too myself with when I was single and dating and knowing human design. Again, you definitely see patterns of what you're attracted to in other charts. But yeah, as far as I can tell, it just does not work. You can't say because this person has a chart that I think I like, we're gonna get on well in real life, in person.
So how do you use human design when you're dating or when you were dating it?
The first thing is to know yourself. Use it. If you're emotionally defined, so we would say, yeah, it's important if you feel that buzz, if you feel something in you light up and get turned on, the sacral motor get turned on when you first bumped into someone or first got introduced to them by a friend. But it's the most important thing for you would be not to jump in to anything, not to say no to anything too fast, right? On an impulse. So if you're emotional, you've got to know, where's my emotional chemistry today? If I'm down and I just want to be by myself, then I'm out, then everybody I meet or get introduced to, I'm going to be closed to. And or everything that anybody asks me is just going to be no that day. So you could miss out on good opportunities. And if okay, today I'm feeling on top of the world, I'm really happy, I feel really connected with everybody, I'm in love with everybody, then you could go out go out, get drunk, and get married. This morning, realize that
Hasn't happened yet.
yeah,
So follow my flow is what I'm hearing.
and take time to feel into things and meet someone. That goes for most people, but especially if you're emotional, meet someone multiple times. Take the time to feel into if it's right for you.
But when someone
Not
first gets into a
rush.
relationship, some people can go really fast if they want, and some people need more time. Okay, I don't know yet. You'll do this in a few days.
Yeah. And because we're looking for what we're not. And if you're emotional, you need a lot of time. But what you want the most, because of the strength of the emotion in that moment, is you just want everything now because of how strong it feels. And so, you can. Yeah, I was just talking with an old friend of mine last week, and he dated someone and got married in 6 months, like roller coaster thing. But he's an emotional being, and 6 months later, they're going through a horrible divorce because of not actually taking the time to feel into each other, feel on a deeper level. Everybody talks about the honeymoon period. That's definitely something that I've found for myself. I fall in love, and then you start to discover who the other person really is after 6 months.
Yeah, I always wait at least a year. It's my rule.
That's smart. Yeah.
Because I hear all the endorphins die down, the love hormones die down.
Yeah.
That's when it really begins.
Yeah. Exactly.
So how long should someone like me wait?
There's
6 months is a long time, right?
So there's no answer to that. It's through when you learn about your inner authority, human sign, say you have a reading or you learn about it yourself, but ideally a reading where somebody can point you to what things actually feel like for you. Then you learn to recognize from experience, okay, this time I jumped in too fast and I was still not feeling clear emotionally in myself. I was still feeling nervousness. It was not an 80%, 90% sense of clarity that you're looking for as an emotional person. And this time, it really felt, we can't say what it actually feels like for you. So that's what you're waiting for. And maybe you're with someone and after 6 months, you still don't feel clear in yourself. If it's really a healthy relationship, a right relationship. And maybe after a year, you still don't feel clear. So that's probably an indication that it's not.
You keep calling me an emotional person, which is surprising to me because I always think I'm a heady person. What do you mean by that exactly? Is it that my emotional center is closed?
Yeah. So what that means, and we always get asked this because people with the emotional system defined often feel less emotional than people who've got this center open and right. And that's because people with it open and white, we're naturally very level when I'm by myself. But as soon as we come into contact with other people, I take in their emotions and I can feel more strongly than them. And I'm all over the place because I don't know what's my emotion and what's their emotion. And so non-emotional people, so no one's non-emotional, right? But what we say when we say that, we mean emotionally sensitive people can be the most emotionally crazy because they're lost in other people's emotions. And the people like you who are emotionally defined, it's just a natural part of your everyday to be in a certain mood. And it shifts.
More steady.
Yeah. And especially, so your one is quite exceptional because you've actually got 3 whole channels coming out of your emotional system. That's very rare. So there are different kinds of emotional chemistry. So when somebody has just one, then that's very obvious. This guy, he gets more and more excited and full of expectations and hope over time, and then it crashes. Something meets reality, something doesn't quite match up to expectations, and it crashes. And then it builds up and up and up and up again, and it crashes. Over the course of days, over the course of weeks, we've got small cycles and big cycles. Or somebody with these channels in the middle here, the individual channels, they're gonna be quite spiky. One day you bump into them on the street and they're over the moon. And the next day they're totally depressed and everything's dark. And then they're just stable for a while and then it spikes. It's a spiky wave. And when you've got aspects of all the waves in you, then it's like they stabilize each other.
Good.
You don't know, I wouldn't say good or bad. I'm really going to avoid saying that. But it feels a lot more stable. It doesn't feel because in our culture, when we say emotional, we often equate that with crazy or out of control. And that's not fair.
I'm not crazy.
Yeah, that's it.
So you could possibly be labeled bipolar, right? If you only have 2 that you described before. So there's nothing wrong with you. You just have 2 channels.
Exactly. So many people that diagnosed with bipolar
Sad.
just don't know how. Yeah. They just don't know how to deal with the strength of the emotional wave when it hits them. So this channel that you've got here, 3955, that's when we see that, especially 50, there's a lot of associated with more eating disorders than any other channel because of the strength of that feeling when it hits you, and it's unpredictable. So as part of your chemistry, there'll be moments when, not necessarily for any reason at all, your emotional state just crashes and it just goes down. And you could have been totally happy the day before. It can also be triggered, I think, but it's also just part of your chemistry. And then how do you deal with that? So if you don't know, say, about breathing or meditation or creative ways to move that, then you're going to think there's something really wrong with you. Or maybe you're just going to try and comfort feed to sugar. Sugar helps us to forget what we're feeling and avoid it. So there's a lot. So in that one, there's a lot of eating disorders. And if you're with somebody, I've been in a relationship with somebody who's got that. And for me, as somebody that's very sensitive, it's tough because before I knew human design, when my partner would go into a bad mood, I'd think it was my fault or there was something really wrong with the relationship or I need to fix it. What can I do to make it feel better? And you know that when you're in a certain mood and you just want to be by yourself in that mood and you listen to the right music, you do whatever, and it's going to move. But if somebody's always coming to you and going, what's wrong? How can I help you? Let me give you a cuddle, have some ice cream. Do you feel better now? Blah, blah, blah. It's the worst thing that anybody can do. Yeah, it's a big way that say human design has helped me to realize that, okay, just because I'm emotionally sensitive and I can feel bad because somebody else feels bad, that doesn't mean I need to try and people please. And it's not my fault when other people are not in a good mood all the time.
That's it for today's episode of the Amoraea Podcast. If you find value in topology, imagine what it would feel like to find your match based on proven topology tests. That's why we built Amoraea. Become part of the movement at www.amoraea.com. I'll catch you in the next episode.
Find your man. Dive deep where the heartstrings